Hello, UFC fight fans out there. There's a lot of interesting things that have been going on in the UFC. So I first want to break down several things that I've been seeing in the UFC, and I would like your feedback on it. Let me know what you think about what is being said right now, because I just want to know if it's just me. For one, Daniel Cormier, is he the pound for pound greatest fighter that ever lived? No, I don't think so. And right now they have him listed in the UFC as the pound for pound greatest fighter. And he's trying to seal his legacy to prove it that he is. And the reason why I don't think he is, I'm going to break it down for you. Okay. You know, Daniel Cormier, you can't take away his achievements. You know, his fights. He has fought in the 205 division. He's also fought at the heavyweight. He's fought a lot of great fighters. And almost every fighter he has ever fought has been bigger than him. Okay, but I want to explain to you what it means to be pound for pound the best fighter in the world. And when they give you that title, it means that you are stylistically equipped with in every aspect of martial arts. Meaning in judo, you could do judo, you could do wrestling, you could do boxing, you could do kickboxing, you could, with any style that's your way, you can beat the person at judo. You could beat the person at striking. You could beat the person at wrestling. And these are your opponents that come in with their credentials of being a master or a black belt in their craft. That being said, Daniel Cormier, to me anyway, is a one-dimensional fighter. But he is a master at his craft. Don't get me wrong. Daniel Cormier is a wrestler, okay? And a striker, okay? He can hit with the best of them. Don't underestimate that right hand because he can hit pretty hard, all right? He knocked out Bigfoot Sylvia when his opponent backed out of the equation and Daniel Cormier knocked him out, okay? So he does possess power. But Daniel Cormier's strategy to the fight is wear you down, grab your leg, pick you up, slam you, impose his will. He's going to smother you all night, and he's going to try to empty out your gas tank, and then that's when his striking opens up, and he's able to show his striking. But that's pretty much it for his arsenal. Daniel Cormier is not the type of guy... that he's gonna just sit there and outstrike you and he's gonna kickbox you. No, he's not. I don't even think he's the best judo artist out there right now in the game. There's a lot more craftier people than him. So, that being said, if there's a lot more people craftier than him in some of the aspects of mixed martial arts, then there's holes in his game. How can he be considered as the best pound for pound champion in the world? Now, he is the double champion. Okay. But the minute that Conor McGregor did that, there was a little bit of words of him being the best pound for pound athlete in the world. There was little talk about it. But they still hadn't given him that title even at his moment. And do I believe all around Conor McGregor is a better fighter than Daniel Cormier? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And just like Demetrius Johnson. There's another situation that's going on with Demetrius Johnson, that he was released from the UFC from his... Okay? And one of those reasons, I think, I've never heard this from Demetrius himself or from anybody else, but I think Demetrius Johnson is offended when they call a person like Daniel Cormier pound for pound greatest. When Demetrius Johnson is in the argument for the pound for pound greatest fighter in the world, Jones is in the conversation as well. Now, DC's going to come in and say, as for Jon Jones, not an active fighter, failed drug tests. He's always crying. He's always talking. Just like he's talked his way into being pound for pound. He talked his way into that. Because he wasn't damn voted into it. That's a lie. Because real hardcore fans know. And you see, Demetrius, for me anyway, Demetrius Johnson has to learn how to separate his job from his craft, meaning that he doesn't want to give in to the fact that he has to talk shit and be this other person, to sell tickets for his fight. He doesn't want to like sell out, okay? But you got to understand, Demetrius, this is your job. This is not how you are and you carry yourself in your whole life, in your profession, or what you want to show your kids or this and that. No, this is a job for you to provide food and money for your family. Okay? So when it's time to punch into work, be that guy. And it's not even being fake. You are one of the baddest men on this planet, Demetrius Johnson. And the reason why I think he left the UFC is because of that sketchy win that they for Cejudo, that they took his title. Because I don't even think he did enough to beat the champion. Absolutely not. Okay? Now, you're not showing Demetrius Johnson the respect he should be getting. But at the same time, Demetrius Johnson, come on. You got to give the fans a little bit. I like the fact that you fight and you finish guys, and that you're really, really, really gifted in mixed martial arts. But then you get out and you're real humble, you're real gracious in defeat or win. You're real, Don't you understand that most people are watching this sport because of the fact that we want to see people get knocked out, that talk shit and they get rocked, and that no, you gotta punch into work and be that man, be that beast that you are inside. Let him go at work. That's what you do as your profession. It's sad to see you go, Demetrius, but I hope to see maybe in the future you come back and clean the division out again. Who knows? As far as Daniel Cormier and Lewis, you are a smart man. You hold all the cards right now. Not all of them, but a little bit. And picking Lewis after seeing his performance in Gas Out, you and I both know that there is no way on God's green earth Lewis can possess to get to the level of getting a gas tank to survive 5 rounds with you. That you know what exactly I'm trying to say. He, in the amount of time that you gave him, unless he was in there killing himself every day, in which if he does that, by the time he gets up into the week, he hasn't even got time to heal and for that to catch up. And the most important thing when you're trying to get stamina is how to use it. Because out of sheer nerves and anxiety, you can get yourself tired. You can make yourself tired in that kind of event. And controlling that inside of your head, learning how to stamina and keeping everything together, that takes time, experience, and I've seen Lewis do that. He did survive some fights where he was exhausted, but he didn't empty his gas tank to the point where he was defenseless. You understand? So he was able, his opponent didn't have the gas tank to finish him, so he wasn't going to let you do it. So Lewis came out on top. I think his weakest fight was against the African guy there, the Ngannou. That was probably his worst fight. He apologized for that fight. Ngannou didn't throw nothing, then Lewis didn't throw nothing, and Lewis wasn't going to set up to walk into one of his punches. So hey, he didn't do more, and Lewis did just a little bit more to win the fight. But hey, it is what it is. Lewis, my advice to you, don't sleep on Daniel Cormier. Don't lower your hands in the clinch. Push him away from you all the time. He's going to come in with submit, come into grab. You know this. Spread your legs, put your weight on him, push him down, push off the clinch, push away from him. You're the bigger man. You possess great power. Even if you're punching onto his forearms or around his face, they gonna hurt. It's gonna make him throw that hook. You gotta live in the pocket with a short one that comes from right here, straight forward. While his hook's coming this way, your arm's up, your left one, you come in and hit him. Start it. You hit him, you wobble him, you stay on him. And if there's a situation where you see that your punches are not landing and he's allowing you to throw punches, back off, tap, tap, tap. Just, tap, tap, no power shots. And pick and choose your shots. But respect him, he's going to shoot in, to create a takedown. And he's going to grab your leg and spin you to the left and pick you up and try to slam you to the ground. That's what Daniel Cormier is about. That's what he did his entire career. Why change the wheel now? We know what he's going to do. You have to defend against that. Okay? And yes, Daniel Cormier can hit. He is the double world champion, but he's not a real heavyweight. Okay? He outsmarted Miocic that night. If he was to fight Miocic again, I actually think that it would be a different story. Miocic is not going to fall for that, you see? And to be pound for pound the greatest champion, two-way champion, you have to defend both titles. Okay? You're going to have to defend both those titles. Now, let's just remember that you got the 205 on a disqualification. Then you fought again. You redeemed yourself against these guys. But Uzumir just had a fight with Lionheart. Huh? And Lionheart, very green fighter right now. Okay? But he was real big for his size. And he weathered, and he choked him out. It was a great thing to see. I thought he was too cocky. He went in there. He thought he was if you see Lionheart fight, he's still green right now in this sport. But he has a lot of fights. But he's 6'4". He's a big guy. And for the first time, I seen him use that size. He was just that much bigger than Uzumir. And he was able to capitalize that. He didn't let Uzumir land anything that hurt him. He didn't really look like he was in trouble at any point in the fight. Okay? His technique is not as impressive. But it goes to show you that just because the other person's more sound and more developed and his technique is better than another person doesn't mean you can't beat him. Okay? Lionheart proved that to the world and he outsmarted him. Okay? And Uzumir made it came back a little too soon before getting his nose broken. Daniel Cormier. But he knew that going into this fight, so he can't use that as an excuse. Okay? Lionheart looked fresh when he came out of that fight with Uzumir. I don't even think he had a bump on his face. Okay? So, back to what's going on in the UFC. I'm embarrassed to say, the way sport has been more entertainment than an actual, sport. It's kind of drifting towards the WWE is what I'm trying to say. Because if a man like Daniel Cormier can be really as one of the greatest fighters of all time, that's a joke, man. And you know what? That sounds kind of harsh. That sounds kind of harsh for what Daniel Cormier has achieved in his life. Okay? Because I'm going to tell you what. Truth be, Daniel Cormier has done what very few people on this planet has ever put together in their entire career. Okay? But there is a but with that. Okay? There's way that you've gone about it. Now, I remember when Joe Rogan saw Conor McGregor fight. And he said there that he's never seen a wrestler like Khabib before in the UFC that he can remember. Wow, how fast we forget some of the greats. Matt Hughes. Huh? I remember when Matt Hughes was a wrestler and he came in and he beat a man by the name of George St. Pierre. What happened the second time they met? Same thing that's going to happen with Conor and Khabib. Yeah, come in to the UFC and have great careers and have great success. Ramiro, Daniel Cormier. Great wrestlers. Okay? What's his name? Man, Randy Couture. Randy the Natural Boy Couture. Okay? I've seen good wrestlers come in and beat a lot of good strikers. But time and time again, history shows you that if they fight again, the striker usually comes out on top. Okay? Because the wrestler is kind of like a one-dimensional. And now the wrestler is a Huda. Okay? Another U.S. wrestler that medaled. Okay? These wrestlers are coming in the UFC and they do have their moments. And a lot of these wrestlers have had long extensive wins in the UFC. Okay? So it goes to show you that Khabib, we've seen that before. We've seen most exciting fighters, because if you pay attention, how many times have you seen Khabib knock somebody out? How many bonuses have Khabib had? I mean, you choke somebody out, great gracious. Daniel Cormier does the same thing. Daniel Cormier didn't knock nobody out until he got into heavyweight. The last thing you heard from Daniel, he got knocked out. Right? He chokes everybody else out. But it's like I said, pressure, defense, which opened up for the striking for Daniel, and then he gets the finish, the submit. They turn up, they give him their back, and they give him his neck, and he chokes them out. And what you do, Daniel? Yes. But pound for pound, the best fighter in the world, in aspects of martial arts, you haven't deserved that title yet. I just can't give you that title like that. You're not that nice. And Mr. Daniel Cormier, if you lose this fight to Lewis, if you lose any fight, okay, I think you'll be ripped out of the pages of the argument for that. You're walking on a tightrope right now because you're trying to prove to the world and everybody else. So you're putting yourself in a real slippery slope. If you're able to pull it off, though, once again, you will talk your way into that by wins, though. But I don't think your opponents and your caliber, there's always going to be this thing over you. And there's going to be this guy's name that's going to linger over your head because he beat you twice. Until you correct that right there, man. Nah. And you know what the funny thing is? Daniel Cormier? John Jones might have been suspended for all this time. And he really haven't had any extensive time in the UFC for about 4 or 5 years, right? And everything. But you got to remember one thing. Champions ever. He's still going to come back in his late 20s. He can still make a run and solidify his legacy. So it is good that you consider retirement. Because if John Jones takes this seriously and the people in his corner screw his head on straight, he can make another impressive run. Okay? And by then, you should be a sports analyst interviewing his fights. Where he's going to put you. Alright, fight fans out there. Let me hear what you got to say about everything I've said. And anything you think, well then, yo, it is what it is. We're all entitled to our opinion. I respect it all. But damn, man, Demetrius Johnson, man, get it together, man. Come back, man. You gotta learn, man. That's not selling out. It's not a job to hurt people and knock people out. I know that there's there's respect in there, with all your fighters and your opponent and mixed martial art. You hold it real dear to you, and there's honor in everything. But you're taking the honor part for the role and the job that you're in. And until you figure that out, you won't be as successful as you should be. Think about what I said. Alright, UFC fight fans.